Hello and welcome to the Fourth Wall Podcast. I am your co-host, Matthew Calhoun. This is a podcast dedicated to movies, games, books, anything basically that you would like. Please check us out at our website at www.thefourthwall.co, where you find out more about us and just anything in general about movies and games and stuff like that. And please enjoy the podcast.
Are you not entertained?
Great Scott. You're a wizard, Harry.
Force is strong in this one.
This is Peppy. All barrel roll. Fly a barrel roll.
I am the Super Saiyan Son Goku!
It's me, Mario.
Stop, would you kindly?
Alrighty, so just so you don't remember to put your phone on vibrate. I don't know if you did.
I think it's in there.
Well, that's even better. So, thank you so much for joining us, guys. We went and saw Fan4stic Boar.
I think a better name is the Fail-tastic Boar.
Yeah, the Fail4stic Boar is what you were calling. I couldn't remember exactly because we talked about it.
Oh man,
this was there's movies that like make you want to be a filmmaker. You know, like Gladiator.
Yeah,
Harry Potter. Star Wars. You know, Star Trek.
The Godfather.
Birdman. This isn't one of those movies.
Actually, I disagree. This makes me want to be a film director because if they can make this movie, that means anybody can do it.
That means anybody can actually make a movie.
Because I want to be one to go back and try to fix this mess of a movie.
All you have to do is like slap indie on it, and you'll get like kind of a pass. Somewhat.
Oh yeah,
like it won't be so much as scrutinized as a big blockbuster. But went in. We actually had a better theater going experience than we did last time.
Yeah, there was nobody there.
There was nobody, which is so strange. We went on a Saturday on a tax-free weekend.
Yeah,
and we went to a huge theater, and I'd say there was probably less than 20 people in there.
Probably more like 10.
Yeah, 10
or less.
Yeah, that's what we're working with. So whenever we went and see it, and we
should have been a red flag.
Should have been a red flag. And we had heard the reviews a little bit earlier, and we didn't. We were just like, we'll go into the movie with an open mind. We'll keep our expectations low, see how it goes. We kept our expectation low, and
it was worse than even our low expectations.
Yes. Couple things before we get into the movie. We did see a couple commercials, and I know you were wanting to talk about the Star Wars trailer, and we've both seen it, but
yeah, it's shorter than the one that's on YouTube right now.
Yeah,
but and I think I said the same thing last week for the Batman v Superman, but seeing it on the big screen is just incredible.
Yeah.
It's shorter. It's less than the one that's actually on YouTube. It felt shorter anyways.
Yeah, it did.
But just seeing it on the big screen, I'm just so excited for that movie.
Yeah. Well, not like, you know, there's, if you've ever like grown up and you've gone to like that movie that like just was like that part of just like an iconic time of like your youth, like that's Star Wars kind of for a lot of people, and I think that like it just with that trailer, to me, seeing it in the theater, it almost like recaptures that sense of just...
Besides the fact that J.J. Abrams has tried so hard to let everybody know, it's nothing like the prequels, guys.
Yeah.
It's
not at all like the prequels.
We're using practical effects. We've killed Jar Jar. We're going to have his skeleton in one of the scenes.
Yeah, he's dead. He's dead. There's actually a video that our listeners need to go see, and also you... It's called by I can't think of the actual channel itself. It's fairly new though. Rocket Jump School, I think, is what it is called. And they did a segment, a YouTube video over CGI, and they were like, CGI is bad, right? You know, it's like it's so horrible, right? And like what the video did, they basically were like, the reason that you notice CGI so much is whenever it's bad. If it's really good, like most of the time it's really good and you don't notice it. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of the Lord of the Rings, like a lot of that is CGI. And just like, and you don't notice, like you wouldn't notice. And so...
because there's a lot of time and love and care put into it.
Yeah. And that just, you saying practical effects made me think of that. But It's
like that little soccer ball droid, I think they're calling it BB-8.
yeah,
They actually made that.
Yeah.
And it actually
it's real.
works.
Yeah, they rolled it out there on Comic-Con, or was it? I don't think it was Comic-Con. It was the Star Wars platform, the Star Wars celebration thing.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And here's the thing, like, they didn't just make a CGI Chewbacca. He's actually that tall.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah. He's almost, what was it? He's almost 7 feet? He's like 6.
He's over 7 feet.
Is he really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Holy
He
cow.
he's taller than Mark Hamill sitting down. He sat on a stool. He had a cane. His
Yeah.
cane's a lightsaber, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, a green
awesome.
upside down. Anyways, he sat down on a stool, and Mark Hamill stood next to him, and Mark Hamill still only comes up to like his shoulder.
That's awesome. I bet you life up there must be a little bit different than life down here.
Probably.
And you will always be known as Chewbacca.
Yeah.
But
I could talk about Star Wars all day.
yeah.
So we should talk about.
But we always have time for Star Wars. that's the best part. Is that we always have time for Star Wars.
That's true.
So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this review of Fantastic Four. First, general impressions of just if you were to tell someone what this movie was about, and I'm throwing this to you, a curveball, in like 5 words or less, what would you tell them? Or,
5 words or less. Okay.
yeah, 5 words or less.
Origin story. Superpower. Kind of. What would your 5 words be?
Origin story, but not really. Because it's not exactly an origin story as much as just this weird setup that wasn't really a setup, that tried to be its own movie but wasn't its own movie. It's just okay.
I'm calling you out on this, Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hey, stop making a movie that the only goal of that movie is to set up another movie.
Yeah.
Make a good movie and then worry about a sequel. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. You do that way too much.
Yeah. And we know that Marvel is doing that, but they built that on the first wave of movies. In the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah, they didn't know
Could have
they
been
were
a
going to get a sequel.
Yeah. Could have been a standalone. They cashed all in on Iron Man.
Yes.
And
that's the way to do it,
Yeah.
honestly. I mean,
if you're going to start like a whole freaking universe, or movie cinematic universe, whatever, then you need to have a strong opening movie that it can be a standalone film that will, and then let the universe,
and then build on it.
Yeah, let the universe
start strong.
Yeah, let it take on its own form in a sense.
Yeah.
Let people want to see that universe before you just create it. I guess you would.
Yes.
That's
what I'm trying to say.
I think, like we were talking about Star Wars, and like I don't think George Lucas knew how big Star Wars was going to be.
He didn't.
The
studios thought it was going to fail.
Yeah.
Epically.
Yeah.
George Lucas, if I maybe have read this wrong, but he didn't even go to opening night because he was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
He didn't believe in it.
Now it's a cultural phenomenon that
we've been obsessed with it since the 70s.
Yeah.
And we're about to have another.
Yeah. And I don't know, people pay millions of dollars to buy memorabilia for Star Wars and stuff like that. So if you can listen up, wise people in the world, the way to do it is to make a strong first good movie and then build off of it.
That can be a standalone.
Yeah.
Because I honestly believe Episode 4, A New Hope, was meant to be a standalone.
Yeah.
And then it became so popular that they built off of it after that, and it just kept getting better and better.
Until the prequels.
Until the prequels.
So here's a little bit of the rundown of the cast. I'll give you the actual Fantastic Four first. Miles Teller, Kate Mara, Michael B. Jordan, and Jamie Bell. Very good guy. Very well-rounded actors. Victor Von Doom was Toby Cabell, which he has been in. We were wondering about this because we haven't ever. He's been in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Prince of Persia, and Rock and Rolla in 2008. Wrath of the Titans. So.
Oh, okay, that's right.
The other more.
Who did he play in? What was that first movie you said?
Let me go back here.
Sorry, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Who's playing that?
Let me see. He played.
IMDb is your friend.
IMDb is your Koba. He played the bad monkey.
Oh,
Which
he was much better in that movie. He was much better as a CGI ape than.
Is that bad? Probably. So, also, just so we can give you some scores, the rate by, I guess, a user would be a 4.0 out of a 10. And the Metacritic score is 27. So,
Out of 100?
yeah. This movie isn't...
It's not doing very well.
So...
It is... Actually, okay. I thought of a good metaphor, good analogy for what this movie is like. And in one of the scenes where they start to get their powers,
Yeah.
It shows Ben Grimm, Jamie Bell, is that who you said?
Yeah.
It shows Jamie Bell, and he's laying on the ground, and all of these rocks start to like stick to him and get piled on him because he's the thing, right?
Yeah.
But to me, it was like that's how this story was written. It's like they just kept throwing plots and rocks and
Stuff.
and explosions, excitement, things.
Yeah. that,
You know,
that weren't even that exciting or things. They were just like...
But darn it, they tried to make it look exciting. They tried their hardest.
They tried.
And if I could sum up this movie, like, oh man, it had such potential. And it hooked me in the first act,
Yeah.
but then the second act just lagged and dragged. And
Before they go to... Oh, excuse me. I would say that the opening scene, whenever they get to the Baxter building and all that, that's a great setup.
yeah,
And then when they, just when... It's like the meaning, the tone, the theme of this movie all got muddled.
it did not know what it wanted to be.
Yeah, because like there's horror elements in this.
Yeah.
It's like part of the movie is shot in like this dark gray filter that makes it look almost gothic and like
Looked like an episode of Walking Dead.
yeah. It was just a like, and I know that this movie went through production hell. It had Josh Trank who left and then I think came back and was drunk on set. There's a bunch of stuff that like went down apparently. So I'm not all too for sure about it. I didn't research it before I did the podcast, but yeah, when I go to a superhero movie, especially a Fantastic Four movie, I do not want to be sitting in the movie an hour and a half depressed as crap that Ben Grimm is now the Thing, because that's what I was, depressed when I saw him.
Well,
He's like looking at his kill count, which was like 47, and just like, my life. Like that, I just felt like that was him.
actually, that was better acting than what he did when he became the Thing.
I thought the scene where he's looking up at Reed Richards whenever he becomes a Thing was actually kind of a little moving, but then they just never capitalized on it, and it was...
Yeah. That's the thing, is like, this movie had such potential.
Yeah.
It really...
With a young cast.
I went in with very low expectations, and the first act drew me in. It was really good build up to the part where they get their powers, and I know you didn't like that scene where they decided to go.
Yeah,
but I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was an interesting choice. I don't know that much about the comics, so I don't know how it actually happened. If this is a deviation or not.
Basically, they're in a spaceship. The way that they get their superpowers is they're in a spaceship. There's like this huge meteor type thing, if I remember correctly, and basically they get showered with this stuff, and that's how they get their superpowers. I didn't mind them doing the whole teleport stuff. That was fine. Like, that wasn't my problem with it.
Oh, no, that was...
It didn't have to, like, I'm not a very strict, like, it has to be by the numbers, but you know, if you're going to take the licensings on it and make it more artistic and go in your own vision, you better make sure it's good. because if it's not...
But anyways, everything up to that point, there were parts where there were ports. There were parts where I was kind of like, okay, this is getting... Some scenes dragged a little too long. Mm-hmm. Some of the chemistry between the actors was just wrong. I don't got to the point where I was like, if this is this good after they get their powers, I'll be willing to forgive all that.
Yeah.
But then the second half, when they finally do get their powers, they just sit around.
It's so boring.
And usually I feel like it should be the other way around. It should be boring until they get their powers.
Yeah. I mean,
but then
Captain America isn't even... the movie itself isn't exciting that much. Although it makes you feel about or care about the character. It's not exciting until Cap gets his powers. Steve Rogers does. And like, this was just like you said, it's total opposite was with this build up and all that stuff. Alright, so we're going to kind of go into spoilers here now, so just so you guys know.
We're to that point?
Yeah, we're to that point. Because, and we'll probably, I think we'll get to 40 minutes on this one.
Probably.
But so...
I want to talk about the characterizations.
Yeah.
First.
Do you think that what I think was what happened was whenever the script went through production hell and they rewrit and reshot those scenes so much with this movie, I think that they probably would have meshed better together, except that because they had all this different writing and these different scenes that weren't the right thing, it got messed up. And so that's why they didn't mesh. Because all these people, you know, Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan, they're good actors. Kate Mara off of House of Cards, great actress. So
I've only seen Jamie Bell in a couple of things. I know he was in King Kong.
Yeah.
And this is gonna date me so much. The first thing I ever saw him in was the "Wake Me Up When September Ends" video by Green Day. He was the guy that joined the military, and his girlfriend like yelled at him. It's the most depressing video ever.
Yeah.
But that's what when I saw him in King Kong, I was like, oh, that's the Green Day dude.
Oh, that's the Green Day dude. Is that what you want to be known as, the Green Day dude? I just would like to. Is that
yes?
Yes.
That was my nickname in high school.
The Green Day dude?
No,
but
I did dress up as Billy Joe Armstrong for Rockstar Day once.
That's awesome.
I had the black shirt, the red tie, the black pants, and I even let one of the girls in my theater class do eyeliner on me.
That's pretty legit.
Dyed my hair black. I looked good. Not really.
Not really, but really,
I thought I looked cool, but I didn't.
It was a different time back then, so I forgive you. But I just...
How did we get on that?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Okay.
But the bit about, with like you were saying, the characterization, you know, it was... And I said this to you while we were at dinner, but I feel like we spent all this time with these characters, but I still don't know them that well.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Like,
no. That says it very well, actually.
Yeah. We spend these almost... What is it? What is the runtime? I think it's like 2 hours and something. We were in there from 3 to...
The movie actually started at 3:15.
Okay. And
then we got out at closer to 5. I think. So about 4:45, I think.
Yeah. Let me see here. I'll look up the runtime. It is an hour and 40 minutes. We spent an hour and 40 minutes, which it felt like 2 hours.
Oh, it felt forever.
Yeah. But not only that, not only did it feel forever, but like I didn't feel like I got to really know any of the characters because it was just nothing was happening. There was just kind of like it's just boring. It was just boring to watch them, you know. And I don't.
No, well, not all of them.
Yeah.
I did like Miles Teller as Reed Richards. I was iffy about him. I was like, no, he's way too young, but he fit the bill.
Okay.
He surprised me. Michael B. Jordan. This is a disclaimer. We are not racists. But that guy, he's a good actor.
Yeah.
He has chops. But in this movie, it was like they just told him, "Hey, be like Chris Evans was in the first Fantastic Four."
Yeah.
He had no characterization other than that.
Which I know in the comics, no pun intended, he's kind of a hothead a little bit, but
I see what you did there.
Yeah, but I mean, you could have went about it, I think, in a different way, and also the fact that like when these kids get together, like they're supposed to be these mechanical geniuses and stuff like that. Like, okay, so beginning of the movie, or not the beginning, but somewhere in the beginning part, Reed Richards gets offered this scholarship to do something. To go to this Baxter building. To go to this we don't know if because he goes, I would like to give you a full ride scholarship. Well, the thing about it is, like, he's not going to a college or anything like that.
He's working at the Baxter building.
Yeah, he's working at the Baxter building, so did he give him a scholarship to go to work?
It never says.
Yeah, it just totally glosses over that point, which I think is a very...
Well, he does get a dorm room.
Yeah, he gets a dorm room, but that didn't even...
But he visits it one time, and there's already posters on it when he gets there.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, are you at a college, or are you... I've never been at we'll give you a full ride to come work here, at least. I've never at once done that. That being said, I can look past that, okay? I can look past the whole Baxter building thing. So they go to work and all that stuff, and they start, I guess, going to work on this machine. And
yeah, they never really say what it is, but it's a transporter between Earth and another dimension.
Also, whenever the Baxter people, Dr. Franklin meets Richards, he tells them that because this teleporter thing, they've been able to teleport stuff, but they can't bring stuff back.
Yeah.
And then, whenever they get there, he's like, "Oh, we picked up this sample because we were able to bring this stuff back. And we picked up this signal and that."
He may as well have said, "We haven't been able to bring anything back except for all these things that we brought back."
Yeah, except for all these things that we brought back. And not only that, but it the signal, like they would take a chimpanzee, teleport them, and they would like pick up the signal and stuff. But
yeah, I don't know how that works.
Yeah,
scientifically.
Yeah.
If you do, listeners,
let us know.
Let us know. We are not scientists.
But I don't see how you can go across dimensions and then send a signal to dimensions, because I'm not exactly for sure if that works.
Can we talk about that chimp, though, for a second?
Yes.
That was the worst CGI chimp that I have ever seen. Okay? And there were some bad effects in this movie.
Uh-huh.
There were some that, like, you can tell, like, no time at all went into making this.
The face change, where he's, like, changing his face and all that. Yeah, that was like 1995.
That was 90s.
Yeah, 95.
This chimp, though...
No, not 95, because T2 came out in 95. So, before that.
That chimp, though, it looked like it was drawn with pen and paper. Like Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
I
totally agree.
Terrible. It did not even look real. Like, not even close to real.
Yeah.
Okay, so they test it, this machine, and which I liked that idea, by the way. Like, the first one, they all went up into space, and there was this cloud that gave them powers.
Yeah.
Which, okay, that kind of makes sense. The way that they did it this time, though, as far as origin stories go, it was a lot more interesting, a lot more entertaining.
Yeah.
Okay. We also, oh my gosh, probably the worst character, I would say even worse than the Thing, is Doctor Doom.
Yeah, no, Doctor Doom
He,
is by far the most, not only just
the most cliche.
not at all clever written, doesn't exactly know his motives. You never understand why he wants the world to perish. You never understand why he is the way he is. He is.
Apparently he has a crush on Sue Storm.
Yeah, but
which I never understood why they did that in the first movie too, and it didn't work there either.
Yeah, it still didn't make sense. This movie made me want to go back and watch the other Fantastic Four because it would be better than this one.
I already think it's better.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I know people hated that, but at least it was fun.
Yeah, at least you could deal with it. It was
like
mindless. Actually.
Michael Chiklis as the Thing. Come on,
Yeah,
he's great.
Yeah,
I think his name's Michael Chiklis.
he was definitely a better Thing. This Thing is like depressed.
I was thinking about this earlier today. My favorite line from that series, I think this is in the second one, but you remember the Thing gets that blind girlfriend, and at one point, Johnny Storm comes up to him, and he says, "Do you guys ever,
Yeah,
And the Thing goes, "That's none of your business."
yeah,
And he says, no, I'm actually concerned. And he calms down a little bit.
yeah.
And he says, because I would hate to hear that she was killed in a rock slide. And he runs away. And then the Thing looks at him, "I'll show you a rock slide."
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's cheesy.
Yeah.
Out the wazoo, that movie's cheesy, but it's fun.
Yeah,
It was made for kids.
and I think the way that you do a Fantastic Four movie is you make it fun. That's what you cannot go DC has their niche of the dark and movies like that, and they're these basically these gods trying to play men. Well,
they're trying to make every movie The Dark Knight, basically, because of how successful that was.
Yeah, and you can't. That's the
it
problem.
It doesn't
with this.
work for everybody.
Yeah, and
it works for Batman.
It's okay to be different, fun, and goofy because that's kind of what the Fantastic Four is. I mean, you have a man that stretches, like you said earlier. You have a man that stretches. Like that's not exactly realistic.
You cannot take that
or
seriously.
Gritty. I'm not going to see Reed Richards beat the crap out of a man and Taken style. And change him. That's not what I'm looking for whenever I'm talking about Fantastic Four. No. I just want to see a fun romp and a good superhero movie. And
yeah.
I think now we've gotten to the point where origin stories are getting really boring. At least to me, I don't know about you.
Because we know them.
Yeah, we know them.
And if you don't, then just hint at it, and the ones who care will go home and look it up.
Yeah.
The ones who don't, it's not going to matter to them anyways.
You don't have to water it down so much to where you're flooding somebody. You can just you can give them a little bit of droplets here and there, a little bit of droplets here and there. And if they want to go and find out more, they will go do research about it, or they'll go see something about it. But if you make a complete and better story with just the droplets, that'll solve your problem. And you will get a sequel, and you will be able to build a world. And instead of just having to give droplets, you can, give more. You can turn the hose on, basically.
Yeah.
And let all this backstory and knowledge.
But no, I couldn't stand the way that they did Doctor Doom in this.
Yeah.
Like I said at the beginning,
not at all like his comic book origins.
I don't know the comic book origins. I don't know that much about the Fantastic Four. The little that I do know comes from movies and video games.
Yeah, and
I never read the comics or anything. But what I do know is that Doctor Doom is supposed to be like one of the main villains of the Marvel universe.
Yes, he is.
And he was always a huge threat.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, he was. Can we say douche?
Yes,
He was a douche.
Yes,
Like that's it.
It was just a douche. In the comics, okay. So the reason that, and this is for I guess for those who want to know about in the comics, the reason that Doctor Doom does what he does is because Doctor Doom literally travels through time. And it's told at the kind of the end of time, if you don't take over the world, if you don't set these things right, then the whole world is going to kill itself. So basically, he's kind of on a mission to help humanity make it through the end. Like, the reason that he becomes king of Latveria and all that is because, like, his citizens love him. Like, other than the outside world, the people in Latveria and his home country, they love him.
Really?
Yeah. And so, like, he's an amazing dictator, apparently. I don't know how he'd be amazing, but, you know, the people love him there. And so, like, it doesn't, and I know you can't capture that in one movie, which is fine. You don't have to. But this is just like, his motives don't even make sense.
Yeah, if he wants to save the world from destruction, why is he destroying the world?
Not only that, and then, so how you're going to be alone to then, you know, whenever he tries to destroy the planet through the teleport thing, you're just going to destroy the planet and then what? You don't gain power by destroying the planet. You don't gain anything from it. You're just destroying it.
He's also destroying Latveria.
Yeah, which would be his eventual home. It's like Fox tried to build this universe,
but they're probably not going to get a sequel because this movie tanked.
Yeah, and they shouldn't. I don't want to reward bad movies.
Well, and the thing about it is, and I said this on the way up there.
Yeah.
Had they said, you know, we have a really good idea for a Fantastic Four movie, instead of what they did, because all they did was, we don't want to lose Fantastic Four franchise, so we're going to make a movie. Mm-hmm. Like, we have to make a movie. Mm-hmm. And it shows.
Yeah.
There was no love or care, or it just felt like a rushed.
Yeah, and I think
everything felt rushed.
That's the difference between, you know, Fox's Marvel movies and Sony's Marvel movies, and then actual Marvel movies with their Marvel characters. Is like, you can definitely tell the time and the work and the effort has been poured out on these movies, and that's just how it is because of, you know, they care about this material. They know, and they know that the vision that they want, and I mean, Fox is just barely holding on to the X-Men, kind of, with, you know...
They're going to lose it when they lose Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. I don't think they'll have it too much longer if they can't reboot it and make it successful, which I know that they're about to have X-Men Apocalypse, and then they'll have the third Wolverine movie. So it'll be a while. But before, I could definitely see Marvel taking a grab at the X-Men again, and all that stuff, and because... And like we were talking about, the best case scenario now for the Fantastic Four is for Marvel to get the rights back to Fantastic Four.
Same thing that happened with Sony and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We want that with Fantastic Four.
And they don't have... The thing about it is they don't have to be in Phase 3. They can be in Phase 4, which means they bring in Galactus and bring in Doctor Doom. And with them, you don't have to exactly start out with an origin story. You can already start off with that team, and then whenever you have those solid movies there, or you have that solid first movie, like they started the entire Marvel franchise with Iron Man 1, now you have the Phase 4 and basically a new set of people because, you know, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth will be gone and stuff like that. Yeah. You will have people to replace with this group already set in place, and then you can jump into Spider-Man, and then you can jump into Black Panther even more, and those singular movies will mean so much more in this thing. And that I mean, if that were to happen, that would be the best thing to happen for that property, which is Fantastic Four, and for Marvel, and probably even for Fox, because Fox right now is just shooting themselves in the leg, wasting money.
Yeah.
On every dollar that they spend advertising and making this movie, it will not make its budget back, and I'll be surprised if it makes half its budget back.
Yeah,
because frankly, if anybody knows anything about movies, they're probably not going to go see this movie. Or even if they listen to reviews.
Yeah, I was glad we saw it before 5 o'clock, so we only wasted $4.50.
For reals. Because that was money not well spent.
We didn't talk about the first half, the stuff that we liked, though.
It's alright, let's talk about
at the end of the day, this movie did not live up to the hype, but there were good scenes.
Yeah.
There were good, a silver lining, if you will. The movie starts off with Reed Richards as a kid, and they're doing like a career day, and the project is, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he starts talking about this machine that he's already building, and I assume that they were 5th grade or so.
Yeah, something along those lines.
And so he ends up at a junkyard trying to steal a power converter, and it ends up being Ben Grimm's house. And he recognizes him from class, and he says, "Does that machine you make really work?" And Reed says, "Well, let me have this power converter, and I'll show you."
So, which, by the way, was a massive power converter.
Oh yeah, it was the size of
a desk.
Yeah. There's no way that would
table.
have fit in a car. I don't know that much about cars either.
Yeah.
But anyways, but I thought that was a really interesting way for them to become friends.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me a little bit of like Super 8 a little bit. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't.
Oh well, it's like it just had that feel to it, kind of like, oh, there's this kind of like
it just
mystery.
made sense.
Yeah.
It was good. It was well written.
Yeah.
And then the next scene, it shows Ben and Reed in the high school science fair.
And
they finally perfected their machine.
Yeah.
And they're older, and it's the actual actors that played the characters now. And he's got all these. Reed has all these people telling him, "You'll never amount to anything. You're always going to be a loser.
Yeah. We don't understand you. You know."
Yeah. And that was really good too. I thought. And so he makes this machine work, and they give him an F on it.
Yeah, or they disqualify him.
Yeah, they said it was magic instead of science.
Yeah.
And so he's really discouraged, but then he's approached by, what's his name? Franklin Storm.
Yeah, Franklin Storm.
And Susan Storm. And they've been trying to make that machine the same thing. And but Reed actually got it to work, and apparently it was Victor Von Doom's design. It was his machine. They just couldn't get it to work, so he left, and they had to go dig him back up. That got complicated
really quickly.
And but the whole opening of Reed coming in to work at this Baxter building, or he gets the scholarship or whatever you want to call it. I thought that was really good, and then him working with Victor and Susan, and then Johnny comes in, which we'll talk about him later. That was good. It really set up the thing. And then when there's this scene where they finally get this machine to work, they send that fake-looking chimp into to the next dimension and bring it back. They start talking about, we want to get people from the military to come in, trained soldiers or trained astronauts to use this machine. And so they start drinking, which I know you and I kind of had mixed feelings about that.
Yeah.
Matt didn't like it. He thought it would have been a stronger scene had Reed Richards not drank. I kind of disagree, though. I think it was a really good. It was him saying, "Well, I've finally been defeated.
Yeah.
I give up."
I can buy that.
But they're all drinking. It's Johnny Storm, Dr. Doom, or Victor, and Reed Richards, and they're all sitting there getting drunk. And they're talking about this. I thought the scene was really strong. The one good line that Dr. Doom had, he said, "Do you remember who built the Apollo spaceship?" And they're like, "No." "But you know who Neil Armstrong is, right?"
Yeah.
"And Buzz Aldrin?" "We're going to be those guys who say, no, we sent people into space. And we're going to go home drunk and sad to our sad little lives." So Reed Richards, even though he's drunk, I just thought this scene was good. Reed's like, then let's go before them.
Yeah.
Let's go plant a flag on this planet, and then what are they going to do? We'll be the famous ones. We'll be the ones who got there before they did. I really liked the scene. I really thought it was good.
I didn't think it was super bad. I just thought that. I thought that because they were drunk, I was like, so they're gonna get their superpowers because they were drunk and decided to.
Okay, I'll concede with that.
That doesn't take away with the fact that it did have a promising. It did have something to say about what we do. I don't know what we take for as the icons.
Yeah.
And it had a good little thing to it. Just one thing, real quick. You were talking about Ben Grimm there at the beginning with him and Reed, Ben and Reed, and the person that I think got the shaft the most with at least just screen time was, I think, or no, maybe not. It's between The Thing and Dr. Doom, because you don't see Ben for like a good chunk of the movie, and when you do, he barely says anything.
Yeah.
And you only somewhat are able to grasp this at the very beginning you are. And then it doesn't exactly work. Or it does work kind of, but then...
Kinda, yeah.
And then it doesn't.
They had some really strong scenes, but not enough.
Yeah.
Not for a team movie.
Yeah, and the ending. Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, sweet Jesus.
Lord, give us strength.
Lord, help us. Whenever the Thing is like, it's fantastic. And Reed looks at him.
Oh.
He's like, what'd you say? He's like,
say it again.
Say it again. It's fantastic. That's right. That's like, oh, no, it's not.
So cheesy.
Hey, guys, I know what we're going to call ourselves. What?
In credits.
In credits.
The Fantastic Four.
No. The Fan4stic. Because that's what the poster said. It's Fan4stic. Which, I don't get why people think that would be a good idea. What marketing team would be like, oh, okay, this will look good.
Yeah.
Fan4stic. Let's just stick a 4 in the middle of our word. That'll work.
Yeah. But, so, they go to this planet, and it was very interesting, because Sue wasn't with them.
Yeah.
But she comes back, and there's already stuff on the rest of them, and it gets on her that way. Which I kept wondering, like, how are they going to get her there?
That's exactly what I kept thinking, too.
But I tell you all that to say that, like, that's where the interesting stuff stopped.
Yeah. And
it was like the rest of the movie flatlined.
And, like, at one point, Reed Richards, like, leaves the group. He, like, escapes because they get taken to this facility to be tested on. Well, he escapes.
They want to be made combat ready.
Yeah.
The government wants to use them as weapons.
Well, he's telling Ben Grimm the thing. He's like, I'll save you, I'll help you. Like, he just disappears. Well, then they find him. And
for years.
Yeah.
He's gone for several years.
I don't think it was several years. I think it was just a year, wasn't it?
Long enough for him to grow a puberty beard.
True.
It looks terrible.
No, I was thinking that too. I was like, did he not shave? What? Was he just...
and that's coming from a guy who can't grow a full beard.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
So, but
it was like, and then they capture him and he's like, they brought back and they're like, so why didn't you come back, Reed? And he was like, 'cause I can't help you. Or he was like, I'm not good to you.
Yeah, we don't ever get a reason. Like, why did he leave for a year?
Yeah, it's just...
If he would have come back and said, like, I was trying to build something to help us.
Yeah.
That would have been excusable, but it's just
or if he would have had a part to go back to the other planet, or the other dimension, then that would have been excusable.
They said both. It's dimension and planet.
It's another planet in a different dimension.
Or something.
Yeah, or something. But, so... I guess we'll go ahead and give grades. What would you give this 1 out of 10?
Okay. I've actually been thinking about this since we saw the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give it a 4.
A 4? No. That's funny, though, that you said that, because I was also going to give it a 4. Just for, I think it has like 20 redeemable minutes, and then after that, it's
Sue and Reed Richards were very well done and very well written.
as characters, not their relationship.
Well, I actually kind of want to give them a compliment. They didn't focus on the relationship between those two. They hinted at it.
They didn't make it a...
They didn't shove it in there as another subplot because it already had.
Because that would have made the movie actually 2 hours, and that would have been that would have been unbearable. But yeah, so any final thoughts? Just real quickly, or not real quickly.
It's just bad.
It's just bad.
We could talk about it for another hour about everything that's wrong with this movie. But
if you want
it's not bad.
You just have to see it. Wait till it comes out on Netflix or Redbox or just.
Let me say that it's not bad. It's just disappointing.
Yeah. I think it's just parts that are just bad.
Okay.
Doctor Doom is bad.
Oh, that he looked like a Terminator reject with green veins, like bright green, and I don't know what his powers are supposed to be, but he had like 20 of them.
Yeah, no.
In this movie,
it was just bad. So
I think 4 is generous.
Yeah, 4 is generous.
I actually think it's probably closer to 2.5 or 3.
Alrighty. So that's our podcast, guys. Thanks for listening in. If you would like to get a hold of us or contact us, please catch us at www.thefourthwall.org. Let us know what you think about this week's show. Please share us. Please like us. Please tell your friends about us. Please enjoy. If you would have any bits that you would like us to do or anything like that, please let us know. We are also trying to figure out our music to go on here. So if you have any suggestions or anything you want to send to us, let us know. We will definitely give you credit for making it. Thank you, guys.